After threatening pension savers for months that if elected to government they would reintroduce the Pension Lifetime Allowance, Labour appears to have now scrapped this idea, for now. Of course, no plan or promise can be set in stone. Once comfortable in government, who knows what Labour may change? Circumstances change and tax policies along with it. So should you be worried about paying too much into a pension? Is now the time to take all your money out of a pension? Well, it's best not to make any rash decisions until you understand the full position in more detail. My name's Carl Roberts. I'm a chartered financial planner, regulated financial advisor. Welcome to the channel. In these videos, I'm trying to help you build real wealth, find true financial independence, and really enjoy your life. We cover topics such as retirement planning, investing, and tax saving tips. The Pension Lifetime Allowance was introduced back in 2006, and the purpose of it was not to limit the amount of money that could be saved into a pension, but instead to limit the amount you could withdraw from your pension before an extra tax charge was due. For example, someone could in theory save £10 million into a pension and not pay any lifetime allowance tax charge until they started making withdrawals over the limit. The charge for taking out more than the lifetime allowance was dependent on how you actually took your benefits, whether that was via a lump sum or via an income. And the tax charge was up to 55% of the withdrawal. Now, in April 2024, the Conservative government abolished the lifetime allowance in its current form, but it never completely removed it. In its place, we have something different, which is probably actually a little bit more complicated. We now have two new allowances, the lump sum allowance and the lump sum and death benefit allowance. The lump sum allowance restricts how much tax-free cash you can take out of your pension to £268,275 at the time of filming. So if you have a pension valued at £1 million, you could usually take up to 25% of the pension as a tax-free lump sum. So in this case, £250,000 could be withdrawn tax-free without any additional charge. However, if your pension was valued at 1.5 million, you would not be able to take the full 25% tax-free cash lump sum, as the lump sum allowance would restrict you to that £268,275. It in fact was always the case under the old lifetime allowance rules that you could only ever take 25% of the lifetime allowance tax-free. So they've just jigged this rule around a little bit. As for the lump sum death benefit allowance, this effectively restricts how much of your pension you can pass on to your beneficiaries to £1,073,100 at the time of filming before they have to start paying income tax on the withdrawals. So for example, if your pension was valued at £1 million on your death before age 75, your beneficiaries could make withdrawals from your pension, unlimited withdrawals, completely tax-free. However, if your pension was valued at 1.5 million on your death before age 75, any withdrawals they make over the lump sum death benefit allowance would be taxed to income tax at their marginal rate. Now, there are various protection arrangements in place if you had previously built up benefits under the old lifetime allowance rules with higher lifetime allowance limits. The uncertainty since the Conservatives announced the abolishment of the lifetime allowance has not helped with our retirement planning. I have heard many stories of people making large withdrawals from their pensions just because they were worried of what potential tax charges might be coming in the future. And the sensational headlines from some newspapers has not helped with people remaining in control of their emotions. Until we see the cold, hard facts of any new policy announcements, we shouldn't be trying to second guess. We can only work with what we know, remain flexible, and then adapt if necessary. Even with the lifetime allowance charge in place, pensions have still been a fantastic way to save for your retirement. And there are three main reasons why. So number one, income tax relief. Now, how about a 25%, 67%, 82%, or even a 150% near instant guaranteed return on your investment? What other investment does this? Well, that's potentially what's available via pension contributions. Personal pension contributions benefit from income tax relief, meaning what you pay in, the government then tops up by basic income tax relief. For example, If you're a basic rate taxpayer and contribute £8,000 to a pension, the pension provider should automatically claim basic rate tax relief and apply it to your contribution. So the contribution becomes £10,000 inside the pension. This only costs you £8,000 though, so that's a 25% return. If you're a higher or an additional rate taxpayer, then you can claim further tax relief via your tax return. So for a higher rate taxpayer, an £8,000 contribution will be topped up by the £2,000, and then you can claim back a further £2,000, meaning you have a total return of 67%. For an additional rate taxpayer, an £8,000 contribution will be topped up by £2,000, and then you can claim back a further £2,500, giving you a total return of 82%. Now, for someone earning £120,000, an £8,000 contribution will be topped up by £2,000, and then you can claim back a further £4,000, giving you a total return of 150%. Now, the reason this is higher is because you can reclaim some of the lost personal allowance once you earn over £100,000. So this compound effect of regular contributions utilising pound cost averaging as an investment strategy makes it the best tool for your retirement savings, even with a potential lifetime allowance charge. Just think of the overall net position rather than trying to avoid the charge altogether. So the second major benefit of pensions is the tax-free investment growth. Investment growth and dividends made inside the pension are not subject to capital gains or income tax, meaning you keep more of the return you make. But if you invest outside of a pension and an ISA, then any growth and dividends are going to be subject to tax. Okay, the third major benefit of pensions is no inheritance tax. So pensions are not usually subject to inheritance tax, making them a great way to pass on wealth down the generations. Even if you do end up breaching the new lump sum and death benefit allowance, remember it's only the excess over this that is taxed on your beneficiaries, and it's only at their marginal rate of income tax, which could be as low as 20% if they're a basic rate taxpayer, or even nothing if they wait until they have no other income and then make withdrawals then and utilise their personal allowance. If you were to build up wealth outside of a pension or take the money out of a pension, the whole lot could potentially be subject to inheritance tax at 40%. Now, Labour have said they have no plans to bring back the lifetime allowance, but that doesn't mean they can't change their mind in the future. And as we've already seen, there's pretty much the lifetime allowance is still around in some form anyway. Labour are not even in government yet and might not get elected, or it does seem likely based on the current polling. The point is not to make any rash decisions until you know the full facts. This is where a financial advisor could be really useful, because pensions and the taxation of them is complex. And you don't know what you don't know. As it stands, the benefits available to pensions still far outweigh the downsides of any lifetime allowance charge, so don't be put off. Let the pension be your retirement goldmine. Now, I hope you found this video useful. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave any comments or questions you may have around the subjects, and I'll try and answer as many as I can. Until next time, take care.